Hey UConn Nation, it's KK Arnold here. If you're looking for the latest UConn women's basketball content, go subscribe to Listen Up to Phil and Ryan. Go Huskies!
Man, Ryan, what did I say on the last episode? It is great to have your voice heard, isn't it? Paige Bueckers scores 26, UConn Huskies 76-64 final, Mohegan Sun Arena. From Frederick to Middletown, like I always tell you, Ryan, it's a game recap on Listen Up.
Well, UConn trying to get back in the groove tonight versus North Carolina. I'd say they did a pretty good job of it. Let's get into the game recap. Freshman Ashlyn Shade and KK Arnold both get the starting nod today alongside Nika, Paige, and Aaliyah. I really like this starting lineup, and I would expect to see more of it, hopefully moving forward as the season progresses. The crowd was loud, mostly in favor of UConn. I like the intensity from UConn's defense straight away. They forced North Carolina to make some poor decisions, unusual mistakes. The Tar Heels, a lot of unusual turnovers today. I said during the last check-in, usually pretty good taking care of the ball, but today UConn's defense definitely paved the way for most of their points and definitely disrupted a lot of what North Carolina was trying to do. A lot of those turnovers from UNC led to the Huskies offense really starting to open up. They looked a lot more electric, just overall more energized, I'd say. UConn ends the quarter on a 17-4 run, leading 19-10. But honestly, it felt like they could have had a lot more points than just 19 and a bigger lead than just 9 points. But UConn continued their tough defensive efforts early in the second, but North Carolina was able to capitalize on a couple UConn mistakes and started to get their offense going a little bit. UNC quickly stormed back and eventually tied the game in that second quarter. I think the turning point in the quarter for me when I was watching was really when Aaliyah and Paige had to go for a quick rest to the bench. UConn's small lineup, they really struggled with that today, had trouble rebounding. Ice Brady had trouble defending inside the paint, and I don't think she returned for the whole rest of the game. She maybe played about 5 minutes in that second quarter. I don't think she returned the rest of the game. So definitely Gino did not like what he saw from her today, but UConn overall struggled with that smaller lineup. But the offense also really struggled to score without Paige on the floor. Check back into the game right away. Bueckers scored back-to-back buckets, and UConn started to go a little bit more. End of the half with 17 points. Paige did just two away from that 1K. Very efficient from the field. But UNC stormed back and tied the game at 36 at the end of the half. And really, what I emphasized also in that last check-in about UConn trying to put up four consistent quarters today, that didn't really happen. It was all UConn for the first 12 minutes, and then the last 8 minutes, I'd say, it was all North Carolina. So it really flipped the script a little bit going in to the second half. Starting the third quarter, UConn got back, scoring points off a turnover, creating steals. That's really when UConn is at their best, when they can get steals, force turnovers, and really just opens everything up on the offense. Paige also straight away off the steal got 1,000 career points, reached the 1,000 mark and counting. And she was just really all over the place today for UConn, doing everything. She got 4 blocks, I think, to go along with her 26 points, and just really did all she could to keep UConn ahead in this game. But the Huskies all around pretty efficient in the third quarter, but really, in my opinion, the consistency from their defense is really what disrupted North Carolina and didn't allow them to get very many easy looks for the entire game. UConn very quickly jumped up to a 16-point lead going into the final quarter. And despite a little bit of a late charge from UNC, the Huskies handled business in the fourth quarter to win 76-64. And I'd say another all-around collective victory for UConn, which was really nice to see everybody chipping in. And, you know, as I like to say, I really like when UConn wins collectively as a team. But obviously, Paige, her best performance today, and I'd say she definitely paved the way.
For sure, Ryan. And it comes just after that beautiful last check-in that we talked about. Well, we need to see more out of Paige Bueckers. Ryan Edwards, nice job down low all day, also contributing off the bench when her name was called. Paige had a Hall of Fame worthy performance, Ryan. And again, tell me, what was the name of this game? Because I know there was a name for it. Tell me what was the name of it was.
I believe it was the Hall of Fame Women's Showcase.
Uh-huh. So see what I mean? A Hall of Fame worthy
Yeah,
performance out of Paige
yeah,
Bueckers today. So Ryan, they blew that 21-11 lead in the beginning of the game. And when when you talk about Huskies basketball, usually Ryan, and it raised my eyebrows because I'm thinking, oh my, Ryan, here we go again, blowing a 21-11 lead. But this was a game of runs, and UConn this time, Ryan finally won the battle and survived against a team that was not going away easily, right? Hats off to UNC. Ashlyn Shade did a nice job on both ends of the floor early. And then she continued that success later in the game. And then Kev, the 3-point ball today. The 3-point shot today was falling. KK Paige Nika shooting the 3 ball. So hats off again to UNC. Just a couple of names to point out for UNC. Gak Dang did a nice job. Renaya Kelly, hopefully she's okay. I know that she got denied early before halftime, Ryan, and then she got hit in the
yeah.
face. So Renaya Kelly, I don't think, did she come back in the third and fourth quarter?
I'm actually not. I believe she might have, but I'm not honestly too sure on that.
Yeah, and then I brought up Lexi Donarski to you, one of the best 3-point shooters. Looking at the numbers, more than likely, in my opinion. And Ryan today only 12 points. So again, UConn with that 8 for 17 from downtown, 3-point percentage of 47. Ryan, it was a beautiful evening, wasn't it? Let's go on over to comments. Jason D'Amico. The one thing I love about this women's UConn team is that no excuses are offered and none are accepted. Social media and the mainstream media are beating this team up unapologetically and fiercely. It is one thing to constructively critique, but it is something hateful to criticize a team who has over 65 points sitting on the bench while freshmen are being asked to play as seniors. Our UConn women are doing just fine with the hand they have been dealt. Go Huskies. Peace. Along to go with that, Ryan, think about it before you analyze on that comment. I saw a comment earlier before this tip-off game today. They said this team, they have the feeling this season, not next year, the following year, this season, they have a feeling, and I'm starting to really believe that this team is going to come on like a wrecking ball. No matter who they play, watch out.
Well, I hope so, and it's definitely tough because we learned over the weekend. I believe Ayanna Patterson may not return for the rest of the season, so that's definitely also a tough blow because I was expecting her to really play a big role in this year's season, as we were expecting a lot of these players who are also out for the season, or in Caroline's case, not able to return. But it's definitely not been easy. We didn't think it was going to be easy even before all these injuries happened. But we can always look forward to next year, and hopefully everybody can recover fully. But UConn, I think, has still been doing an amazing job battling through adversity, just like they've had to do and been forced to do over these past couple seasons. So it's definitely not tough for the players. I'm sure it affects the morale a little bit when you see all of your teammates who you're expecting to play with throughout the whole entire season just unable to play, sitting on the bench, having to watch every game. But I'd say UConn has done a pretty decent job, especially recently, being able to fight through all of that adversity.
How about we talked about this? Lindsay Matthews, she came through during the game, Ryan, just 16 minutes ago. It looks like we love that. Watching UConn versus North Carolina, and our team looks like they're getting into the UConn groove. Oh, Ryan, do not tell them what the title is. The new players are proving why they were selected to play for UConn because they showed up and they shoot. Hello. Start shooting. If you miss, keep trying. They will start to drop. Paige was amazing as usual. We are so lucky to have her. She is playing real Paige basketball. Yes, Ryan, Paige steps up every game, but today she stepped up and she looked like that national player of the year, if you will.
Yeah, like I said, definitely her best game, and we were waiting for that, classic Paige Bueckers vintage performance, and we definitely saw it today. So that was nice to see for sure. Hopefully, she can keep this kind of a stamina and just full steam ahead mentality throughout the course of the entire season. But for the freshmen, again, it's not going to be a game isn't going to pass. We have to always name at least two, if not all, of these freshman players because they're playing so great for this team. KK Arnold, again, I noticed she really locked up Deja Kelly. We expected her to have a pretty decent game for UNC today. KK Arnold guarded her for most of the game and really locked her down. So spectacular job on the defensive side and just her continued effort and just overall energy on offense. And we got to see another vintage fist bump from Ashlyn Shade today, knocked down a couple threes and stayed hot from the field. Not too much out of cadence today. She didn't play a whole lot, but still, Ashlyn and KK continue to impress every single game.
All right, we love all of you all. JGHDTTP. It goes, first of all, great job, gentlemen, and congrats on the success of Listen Up. As always, always love the insight, commentary, and optimism provided. Yeah, Ryan, and then he breaks down about the dynasty that we discussed about the dynasty being over. So we will get into that, you and I, on our personal time. Hopefully, we can start using these comments maybe and making some videos out of just the comments. So we do appreciate all of the in-depth analysis. Ryan, how about, you're going to love this one. ENS Press goes, ENS Press, wow, I'm eating breakfast, watching Phil and Rye. Good thing you all sound like a breakfast cereal. Greetings from London, Night Owls.
Yeah, well, we definitely appreciate it because I know over there in the UK and London, it's a totally different time and sleep schedule for those of you who do watch us from over there. So definitely appreciate it. That was definitely a late night for us. So I think we probably posted it when it was about 9 or 10 in the morning for for them over there. So definitely appreciate it.
All right, how about one more, Ryan, and then I will let you go. How about JTH3091? This is a great one to leave it off on. I got a feeling Paige is going to have a breakout game against UNC. She looked fed up in the pregame availability. And he didn't cheat, Ryan. That came 1 day ago. You just can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, I love when the people in the comments are able to correctly predict what happens in the game. It's pretty spectacular when they can kind of predict the script of the game or who has a good performance. So it's definitely fun to see.
All right, Ryan. Not back in the New York groove, but back in the UConn groove. It's Phil and Ryan on Listen Up.